Weather Service in Raleigh. It's Nick Petro with your routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. This briefing covers the period Thursday through Wednesday. And before I get started, I want to acknowledge some visitors that we have here at National Weather Service Raleigh. And I am going to turn on my webcam here as a surprise for everybody. And so anyway, here's I've got an incredible group of folks here from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, who one of our core partners, who are visiting and joining us here. And I am sorry that the image here is a little bit blurry, but do you all want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Staff Sergeant Scott. Got Sergeant Harry here. Got Airman Watts, Sergeant Simmons, and at the far end here we have Airman Gibson. And we're all here from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base as weather forecasters, learning what Nick does.
All right. So anyway, thank you for joining. I wanted to acknowledge our visitors and say thank you so much for coming to visit. We have a very similar kind of what we do. We do aviation forecasts. Seymour Johnson does aviation forecasts. So we're talking aviation, weather, and forecasting today, and they are a live audience for our weekly briefing here. And James Workman says thank you for all your service. So you're getting some feedback and folks saying thanks. So thanks for that, James. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the webcam off so we can get started with the briefing. And let me see if I can do this here. Okay, so there we go. All right, so our weekly briefing now covers today through next Wednesday, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. But before we show you the forecast slides, let me show the GR Earth like I typically like to do. And a couple things you're going to notice. I've got temperatures overlaid here. And look at that reading there. Let me zoom in here. Look how nice that is. Good heavens, 79 degrees. I mean, isn't that nice for August? Perfect. That's perfect. We'll take that any day here in August. And in case you're wondering why all of a sudden, because we've been so hot for the last 2 months, what is going on? Well, you see this band of sort of clouds and rain. That is all associated with a cold front that's aligned kind of like, and I'm drawing this real rough, so don't grade me on my frontal location here, but or exact location, but just kind of a rough idea. There's a cold front. Remember what fronts do? They separate air masses. So you've got cooler here and warmer south of the front. And we happen to find ourselves on the nice side of that boundary. And boundaries are often enforcing mechanisms for rain. And you can see the rain that's occurring on that boundary. Now, what's going to happen in the next few days is this front is going to basically become stationary and then just become a warm front and then lift back to the north with time. Okay, and sometimes, well, a lot of times, the rain can occur when winds blow from the south over boundaries. That causes rain to occur on the north side of boundaries. So I know the screen's kind of messy at this point, but basically this boundary here over the next couple days is going to gradually lift north, and so too will our chances for rain as this rain band also lifts to the north. So that's kind of a big overview picture of what's going on, and the slides kind of convey that here. In the upper left, you could see the today we're mainly dry, and then Saturday, Sunday, all the way through middle of next week, we're in the green, if you will, and green means rain chances. So increasing rain chances basically tomorrow through the weekend with that front lifting back to the north. And then we're going to leave daily rain chances in the forecast early next week with sort of a stationary boundary just sitting right over us. And with clouds and precip, with an abundance of clouds and precip, as noted, on this graphic or map here, temperatures will be held back from getting into the 90s. In fact, they'll be at or even below normal. So anyway, that's an overview for the next basically week or so. In terms of how much rain, you'll notice mainly dry today, but look at that blue shading south of Raleigh, south of Highway 64 corridor for Friday. So that's where the heaviest rain's going to be. They're just kind of scattered in nature Saturday, Sunday, maybe a little bit better organized early next week, but basically suffice it to say we're going to get some rain and some decent rains in the 5-day totals. We're talking over an inch for most, if not all, of central North Carolina, with the heaviest rainfall amounts east of I-95 and south of the Highway 64 corridor. And just for reference, obviously everybody knows 95 corridor is there and Highway 64 corridor is roughly there. So just a quick little reference for folks on the webinar in case you're wondering. And then in terms of severe weather potential, will this rain that's coming tomorrow and lingering through the rest of the period, is that going to bring any severe thunderstorms with it? And right now we're thinking the severe thunderstorm potential is pretty low, again, because it's going to be a little on the cooler side, especially if you find yourselves still on the north side of that boundary, which, it'll take a while before we end up on the south side of that boundary, if we ever do in the next few days. So that's why the thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm potential is pretty low. All right. And of course, let's see here. Did I miss a slide here? I must have taken it out. Yeah, I must have somehow hidden it. Anyway, yeah, so I want to mention, let me back up here because I think I accidentally hit a slide, hit a slide that I wanted to show. But look at all the rain here, and for my live audience here, sometimes I screw up and have mistakes, right, in my briefings, but that's okay. I'm not afraid to admit it. And I tell my audience here when I have a little snafu, so they're okay with that, I hope. So anyway, so see all this rain, this heavier rain, that's going to lead to an increased, if it comes down hard and concentrated at any given time, that could lead to a higher risk for localized flash flooding. And I'd like to show a flash flooding potential graphic in my slides. I'll be sure that's in there when I email these slides out. But for the purpose of this briefing, just know that we have sort of an increased risk of flash flooding tomorrow, Friday, just simply due to the heavier nature of the pockets of rain that are expected. All right, so again, when I email these slides after we're done here, I'll make sure that's included. All right, looking at the 5-day tropical weather outlook from the Hurricane Center, and again, the area in the Bay of Campeche is kind of being watched, and southwest Gulf of Mexico. So nothing of any kind of urgent or concern whatsoever for us here. Remember, the peak of the season's still early September, so we got we got a long way to go. In other words, for the hurricane season, don't let your guard down. All right, looking further down the road. So we're talking the last week or so of August. Looks like temperatures, looks like some troughiness set up in the middle of the country. We'll keep temps below normal, basically across the plains down into Texas, maybe over toward the Tennessee Valley, but we're going to be sort of on the warmer side of that situation, and at or above normal rainfall chances are favored. So anyway, we're catching up on our rainfall. So that's my last slide right here. Weather summary: dry today, increasing rain chances Friday through the weekend. That front will be stationary over us by Monday, so daily chances of rain will continue into early next week. The clouds will help keep temperatures at or below normal. And again, don't forget there's a marginal risk, level 1 out of 4 of excessive rain Friday afternoon and evening. So locally heavy rainfall could lead to isolated flash flooding over the usual spots. And you can see down below, there's a glance at the 5-day, and you'll note that the temperatures, high temperatures, were keeping them in the low to mid 80s, which I don't know about you, but I'm not going to complain. I'll take low to mid 80s in August, say late August. That's fine by me. Even if now again, the rain you see, that looks like a pretty rainy, icons there. But just know that it's not going to be raining the entire time. So don't let that mislead you. It's not going to be a washout. But just know that there'll be at least a 30 to 40, 50, even 60% chance at times, chance for rain. All right, so that is our weekly briefing for today, for this Thursday. and the 18th of August here for Central North Carolina.